Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Mary Ann's memorial service today. When we were planning the service today, John asked me if I would maybe start the situation off today, and maybe a short memory about Mary Ann and what she has meant to all of us, because as I look out here, I refer to a lot of these people here as the old guard of Oskaloosa, and I say that in a very respectful way. I want to tell you a story about Mary Ann and John. And to me and my wife, it demonstrated the love, the kindness, the graciousness, and the care that each of them had for one another. And the story's a little light, but let me share it. When we originally started skiing, Jim Wake and Jane asked us if we would like to go out with them and Gerald and Mary Hesling and John and Mary Ann. And Jim had said to me, why don't you ride out with John and Mary Ann? I said, all right. So I contacted John, I remember this very well, and he said, well, that's great, Dave. He said, why don't we pick you up about 10 o'clock? Now, we're going to Steamboat, Colorado. I thought maybe 6 a.m. would have been more appropriate, but that was the time. I later found out that Mary Ann, kind of had a routine. She got used to that routine, and we didn't vary from the routine very much. I don't care where we were headed, we did not vary. So John and Mary Ann picked us up at the house, and John said, Dave, we'll probably make a few stops along the way, bathroom breaks, whatnot. I said, well, that's just great. So we got in the car, and John said, I will drive. I said, all right. 14 miles up the road, Mary Ann said, hey, John, why don't we make a stop in Pella? I thought, really? This might take a while. So we stopped in Pella, and I remember Mary Ann saying to me, if you kids want to get out and stretch your legs, that would be a good thing to do. Oh man, we just got in the vehicle. But we did. We got out, and John said to me, or actually John went into this convenience store, and he comes walking out with a 6-pack of beer. I looked at him, he said, Dave, why don't you go ahead and take over driving? I did. John drank beer, and we made several more stops on the way. We made it all the way to Kozad that night. Not very far. So we got there, and the next morning I said to John, I said, what time do you want to leave in the morning? He said, about 10. All right. So John got up and he went for a run that next morning. And we got in the car about 10, took off, 2.5 hours down the road. John said, oh, I think I left my running jacket in the hotel room. I said, really? Yeah, he said, that's the one I'm going to wear skiing too. I said, okay. We turned around and went back and got it. We went back 2.5 hours. We got into Steamboat about 10 o'clock that night. And all I remember is John and Mary Ann just being so kind and gracious to one another. As a matter of fact, John, before we determined we were going to go back, he looked in the back seat and he said, Annie, is that okay with you? She goes, oh, sure. You know what? They were kind, they were gracious, and Sean and I were accommodating. So, without any further ado, John and Mary Ann's family has taken time this week to really do something special. We're hoping you will enjoy this service today. It's not maybe your traditional service, but I think it's going to be very reflective of the type of life that Mary Ann, the type of person Mary Ann was. I mean, she was a great gal. So I'm going to turn it now over to, if you will, the Von Trapp family. And, I think, Savannah, you're up. Thank you.
I wanted to thank all of you for being here today to celebrate such an incredible woman. I was asked to share a verse by my Aunt Sue. It's John 14, 1-4. Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that? I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also. Sorry, public speaking is not for me. And you know the way to where I am going. To talk just a little bit more of what Dave said, Grandma Mary Ann was a very incredible woman. And I just have a few things that I wanted to share about her. When I think of Grandma Mary Ann, the first word that comes to mind is unconditional love. This could not have been truer about Grandma Mary Ann. She had no boundaries of love. She loved everyone and she loved them hard. Many are aware, and though some may not be, I came to this family at a very young age, well before I knew any differently. Though the Heslings and the Heslingas are not blood relation, I never knew any different for many, many years. And ultimately, I've never felt different, nor did it matter that we didn't share the same blood. She was my grandma, and she always will be. And for that, I am forever grateful. Simply put, with unconditional love, it's love without strings attached. And in my situation, there were no strings attached. There was no blood relation. It was just love, and love that she offered freely. It was a love that you simply give them, and you want nothing more than their happiness. And for that, I'm forever grateful for Grandma. Thank you.
Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace. A time that you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. That was my brother Jeff. I'm not as musically talented as he. So I was asked to also read, which I was very happy and honored to do. My readings from Philippians 4, verse 4 through 9. Rejoice in the Lord always. And again I say, rejoice. Let your moderation be known unto all men. The Lord is at hand. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do, and the God of peace shall be with you. I also have a little something to say about Grandma. See many familiar faces. Many of you all know she was a very special lady. One of a kind. Many fond memories as a kid. Could echo exactly what Savannah said. My mom's going to also share some more memories. But I have one that stands out. One picture I remember when I was asked to speak of my grandma. And how special can a near 90-year-old great-grandmother show up to her great-grandson's game, looking stylish as always, capturing the attention of her near-teenage grandson. I mean, how does that happen? Those grandsons just want to be running around with their buddies. And I can only imagine what the conversation was here. But I want to truly believe she's talking to him, and she gets my son to look off in the sky and think, "You're right, Grandma. Someday I will be king of the court."
That looks like that's what she's telling.
I think so. That's how I'm going to always remember it. Even in those final days, going to visit Grandma, my other son was playing baseball, and we would be there discussing, and we always know she was listening, not necessarily able to participate in the conversation as much as she would like. But near the end, it was a Sunday, and it was in between Liam's baseball games, and I was telling her about it, and she wasn't communicating all that much at that point, and I asked her, and said he made an all-star play, had a great game, and she looks over and who won? even then. And I told him that they won and they had a great game, and I still saw a little twinkle in her eye, even to those last few days. So she lived an amazing life. Couldn't ask for a better grandma. We love you, Grandma. We're glad you're in a better place now. Sorry, now my Uncle Dan is going to go back and play a little piece on the piano.
I would like to thank you all for coming today to the Celebrate Marianne's Life. She would be so pleased to see all of your faces. She was not a somber person. She would want it upbeat. And that's what we tried to do. It's been a work in progress this week, but we're here. Marianne was very social from an early age on. She had a very tight-knit group of high school friends, and boy, they had fun. Using the cemetery as their playground, this picture was staged in the daytime, but it's my understanding that it was the nights when they snuck out, climbed the monuments, and maybe had a little smoke or two. Some of her best friends, and you could see they made their own fun in those days. Marianne was thrown into marriage and motherhood at a very young age. To say this was a challenge would be an understatement. So hence, many prayers. Returning to Oskaloosa after Iowa State, this young family expanded, and Marianne created a cozy little home on a very frugal budget. She maintained her sense of style and fashion and bled a little bit from her grocery money each week to maintain her fashion. As soon as they were able, John and Marianne joined the Elmhurst Country Club. Marianne became an avid golfer, playing with the ladies each afternoon, playing with John in 2 balls. She won the Elmhurst tournament several times by keeping the ball in play, and boy could she putt. The few times we took her out to the putting green to just chip and putt, she still had it. She wasn't much for organizations. She structured her life around family, fitness, and fun. And when I say structured, I mean routine. Exercise, practice, diet, and looking good. Sundays, however, were different. No routine, and actually eating. The next athletic phase in her life was that of tennis. She and Mary Alice Adams played every day, 10 a.m., like Dave said, nothing before 10. And you would have thought the idea of tennis was to hit the ball back and forth as many times as possible, till one just decided that's enough and put it away. Actually, in the end, they both practiced hard and became very good tennis players. She played in the league on Thursday mornings. There was an 8:30 session and a 10 o'clock session, and no matter who the chairman that summer, they knew you'd never scheduled Marianne at 8:30. Summer was for tennis and golf, winter was for skiing. She and John took up skiing and had many years of Colorado ski trips with Oski friends. And I think they had much fun. Anytime Gerald Hesling was around, there was never a dull moment. But probably if you asked Marianne what her greatest achievement was, it wouldn't be these sports. It was taking up the harp at age 50. She purchased a small harp and traveled to Ottumwa, to Indian Hills, and there was a nun that was still there. I just called her Sister Mary Harp, and she taught Marianne for a couple of years before she left. But then Marianne took on her own, and she practiced religiously until her fingers just would no longer allow. She and John practiced together. He on the trombone, she on the harp. They played once together a duet in church, and Marianne continued to play many times in church and at social functions, and this is actually Art in the Park. Losing John was a terrible blow. They did so many things together: golf, tennis, skiing, music. They had recently purchased a lake home in Minnesota at Peter Sunset Beach. They added on this screened-in porch, which made the cottage so perfect. Tennis every day with golf. Unfortunately, this was all upended in a short few months. She missed him terribly, but in Marianne's style. She picked herself up, she moved on. For the first time in her life, she was in charge. No more budgets. Watch out, world. She traveled, she shopped, all while continuing her routine, exercise, diet, and fashion. She loved entertaining, plan a party, attend a party, dress up, dress up, dress up. Outings with the Red Hat ladies. She had every Red Hat ensemble possible. Wine group, special ladies, meeting once a week or so, have a little wine, discuss all of the world's problems and hopefully solve. She loved her wine. In 2015, she made the decision to come to Des Moines. She had been to visit us several times, and she just wanted to be more of a part of our everyday lives. We had 8 years of wonderful fun. She traded wine for sugar. We hit lots of the spots, enjoying every place, bite after bite. She also loved birthdays. She had a perpetual calendar that probably a lot of you in this room were on that calendar. And in her younger days, she was a voracious card sender. To share a couple of her birthdays, her 70th, happy birthday to Sue. We had a great time. Shoes, purses, shopping bags, all ending with the holiday dance at the country club where she was the belle of the ball. COVID didn't stop her. Her forever friends at Point West made sure that she was celebrated. We distanced, wore masks, had a grab-and-go birthday, and I was able to purchase some cards. I found the Queen card, and I thought, rather than everybody have to go out when people really weren't going out, I bought all they had. Everybody signed. I tried to disguise them in different colored envelopes. And the first one she opened, and she loved, she was the Queen. Second one she opened, she went, oh my gosh, look at this. Third one she opened, she's no dummy. Okay, I get it. Her 90th birthday, family fun. She just had a ball. Then a very special, on her 90th birthday, a trip to Hawaii and celebrating with her Hawaii friends, family.
You already sang this at Michelle's on Friday night.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday.
So, Marianne, this past year has been incredible. Never did we dream when we settled Marianne at the Arbor that we would gain a whole new family. She was cared for, loved, and happy. What a trifecta. Meet Vanetta. Vanetta came in one evening when Marianne and I were just sitting there visiting to address a little issue we were having with Marianne. She got down on her knees and she got right in Marianne's face and she said, Marianne, you must take a shower. You need to be clean. You take a shower. In my country, we take shower. We be clean. You need to shower. And as she went through that routine, shaking her finger, I grabbed my phone, snapped a picture, and I said, so, M.A., what do you think? We're all going to miss her terribly, but so thankful for the memories and the time shared. After 34 years, she's back with John. He's waited quite a while to dance again with the dancing queen. Cheers, Marianne.
So many friends. So many friends. Friends in Oskaloosa, sisters getting together, laughing all the time, shooting whipped cream at each other at the cabin, and just all of you have had some good times with her at some point, and then in Des Moines, she formed a whole new circle of friends, and a couple of the ladies are here today from Point West, where she lived for 7 years. And then, as Sue said, at the Arbor in Des Moines, at Walnut Ridge, you saw Bonetta there. She had a whole new, they loved her spunk. You know, they just hadn't had anybody quite like Mom. And slowly but surely, they became a really tight-knit group. And they put on a service for Mom that was amazing. Bonetta was right in there as one of the leaders, and as Mom was leaving the building for the last time, she did another little thing like she did here in the film. She came up, and Mom liked to sing, but she didn't always go to the singing class. Not class, you know, just fun time singing. She didn't always go, but she was always singing. Anytime there was a melody, she's singing. And Bonetta went up to Mom, who's gone now, and Dave did a wonderful job, and Bonetta walked up to Mom and said, "Marianne, you like to sing. You should sing. You don't come and sing with us all the time. You need to come and sing." And this is just wonderful because she's from a different culture. And it was amazing. And so, all of these friends. And so we're going to finish up today with, thank you for being a friend. And we're going to ask you to come in, and you'll know when to come in, and we'll get a few family members to come up, and some of you can sing, I want thank you for being a friend, and the other, we'll get it going. Here we go. Okay. For being a friend, traveled down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off, won't you stand up and take a bow? A party, invited everyone you knew. You would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would would say thank you for being a friend. 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 If it's a friend you lack, you know I'll surely be coming back. Whatever you need, any time of the day or night. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off, won't you stand up and take a bow? When we all get older, with walking canes and hair of gray, have no fear, even though it's hard to hear. I will stand real close and say, thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Okay, here we go. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for helping us.
Well, thank you very much. You know, we're not done yet. I got about 25-minute eulogy. No, actually, you know, Mary Ann was about brief and concise and being on time. And so we are not going to celebrate her life anymore today, but y'all have done a wonderful job today. The funeral service has evolved, has it not? Yeah, so, you know, I thank John and Dan and just for working with us today, and just the wonderful people you all are. So it's all been good, you know, all been really good. And Dan, Claire de Lune, very difficult piece. You know, I had it practiced for over an hour. But we got one final song, and we are going to dismiss you to it. And we think the song is very appropriate. It is not published on your bulletin, but I think you'll gather why.
Okay, we're dismissed.